Security and control in the cloud. As enterprises look for innovative ways to save money and increase the trust and value in their information system, cloud computing has emerged as an important platform offering enterprise a potentially less expensive model to handle their computing needs and accomplish business objectives. Cloud computing offers enterprise many possible benefits which are discussed throughout this publication. Some of these benefits include optimized service utilization, cost saving for cloud computing clients, and the transition of capital expense to operating expenses, dynamic scalability of IT power for clients, shortening life cycle development of the application of the deployments, shortening time requirements for all business implementations. As cloud computing continue to escalate in importance and evolve, it is important that enterprises understand how to best handle the paradigm change in business operation that the cloud computing presents. This level of understanding will enable enterprise to maximize the benefits the cloud platform offers, while simultaneously addresses the cloud's unique and emerging threats and vulnerabilities. There are three types of computer resources that have been provided in the cloud. Software as a service, SaaS. This application software that is hosted by third parties and provided as a service over the internet. Examples of SaaS include Google Docs, Salesforce.com, and Yahoo.com. Webmail service such as Hotmail. Platform as a service, PaaS. There is a platform consists of development tools and a runtime environment. Cloud customers use the development tools to program their own application against the application programming interface (AP) of the runtime environment. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS. These are allowable computing resources such as virtual machines or storage which are provided on demand over the internet. Examples include Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon and Kubernetes backup service. The benefits of cloud computing is low cost. Typical enterprise dedicate 15 or 70% of their budgets to runtime system maintenance tasks. This overhead can be reduced by outsourcing non-strategic service to cloud providers, with user scale economies and experience curve effects to provide commodities service more cheaply on demand. In a recent Goldman Sachs survey, 51% of respondents said the key benefits of cloud computing in the ability to elastically scale to meet peak workloads and future demands. A related benefit in the user-based pricing model where customers only pay for computer resource consumed. Short time to market. It's a faster to procure cloud service than develop the same functionality in-house. The ability to deliver a result fast is another benefit of cloud computing. State-of-the-art in cloud security. Cloud computing security, or more simple, cloud security, is an evolving subdomain of computer security, network security, and more broadly information security. It refers to a broad set of policies, technologies, and control deployment to protect data, application, and the associated infrastructure of cloud computing. Cloud security control. Cloud security architecture is effective only if the correct defensive implementation are in place. An efficient cloud security architecture should recognize the issues that will arise with security management. The security management addresses those issues with security controls. These controls are put in place to safeguard any weakness in the system and reduce the effect on attack. While there are many types of controls, behind a closed security architecture, they can usually be found in one of the following categories: the deterrent controls. Their controls are intended to reduce attacks on a closed system, much like a warning seek an offense or a property. Deterrent control typically reduce the threat level by informing potential attackers that there will be advanced consequences for them if they process. Some consider them as subjects of preventive controls. Preventive control strengthens the system against incidents generally by reducing, if not actually eliminating, vulnerabilities. Strong authentication of cloud user, for instance, makes it less likely that an unauthorized user can access closed system, and more likely that cloud users are positively identified. Detective controls are intended to detect and react appropriately on any accidents that occur in the event of an attack. A detective control will signal the preventive or corrective control to address the issue. System network security monitoring, including intrusion detection and prevention arrangements, are typically employed to detect attacks on closed systems and the supporting communication infrastructure. Corrective control reduce the consequence of an incident, normally by limiting the damage that come into effect during after an accident. Restoring system backups in order to rebuild a compromised system is an example of a corrective control. The conventional ISMLs, the ISO ELC standard 27001 2005 defines is as the set of process policies mechanisms that are used to establish, implement, operate, monitor, review, maintain, and improve information security. Responsibility for controls in cloud computer. A prerequisite for understanding cloud security is understand the difference between responsibility and accountability. Accountability is ultimate responsibility. It is the state of being where the buck stops. Responsibility is an obligation to do something according to concerted parameters. For example, a manager who delegates a task to a subordinate makes the subordinate responsible for the task but remains accountable in case something goes wrong. In other words, the manager can delegate responsibility but no accountability. The virtual ESMLs. Planning. The first activity in planning is the establish its control objectives. To do so, the identifies its corporate assets data or software and their values. The assets values is the monetary impact that a loss of availability, confidentiality, or integrity has on the client's business. From the assessment values, the CC can then determine its protection requirements. These protection requirements are documented in the form of control objectives as well as a specific control that have to be implemented. The CC also must define its assurance requirements, that is the evidence that it requires to be collected during the check, the steps to prove that the control objectives are met. So, FAIRTEST is no different from the risk-based planning, step performance, in conventional ESMSS. All the time of the writing, the state-of-the-art monitoring CPs is still immature. As such, the check step offers significant potential for CPNs to create differentiated value for their clients. CPN who wants to do must address several challenges. First, CCLs wants to monitor their CPLs so they can demonstrate their own complaints, drive continuous improvement in the step, and enforce penalty payment for SLA violations. CPNs will find opportunities for improvement in the three areas, but the most imminent improvement potential exists in the first two areas. The third area, that is still faces many technical challenges that will take time to overcome. Statement of applicability. The statement of applicability is OA is a requirement of the ISO 27001 and documents which control have been chosen by the risk assessment process and which ones have been justifiably excluded. The controls in SOA are chosen in order to protect both the data assets owned by an organization and any data assets that are under the custody of the organization. In this section, we take the perspective of a CP who asks, what control do I have to implement in my own infrastructure in order to protect my client's assets? The answer to this question depends on the cloud model, IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS adopted. Conclusion. Cloud computing is a net IT delivery paradigm. They offer computing resource on demand service over the internet. Cloud computing has become a large and growing market because of its value proposition or low cost, increased flexibility, or short time to market. Cloud providers deliver those benefits by serving multiple clients of single highly standardized or shared infrastructure as a consequence most.